Hello. Gonna be starting a new map. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to be starting off with, but I'm just gonna kind of scroll through them and figure out which one looks good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Two Rivers, the default, one of the base game maps. I'm actually gonna name this after my hometown, Fullerton. Let's give it a go. Alright, let's see what we're working with. I'm gonna go ahead and, right off the bat, go to my options, 81 tiles, unlock all areas. Gonna go down to TMPE. Gameplay, holy city. I'm not 100% sure how this works. I usually just put it to 50. It seems to work whatever it does, so. I'm also going to go over to Game Anarchy, change this up a little bit. Custom unlock. Gonna give myself about 245 is gonna be good. Turn that off so I don't cheat any more money in. I'll leave this on for next time in case I start another game. And then I'm gonna take a look around. I usually don't like starting with these default connections. I'm just gonna go ahead and build that to get myself some more roads. Take a look. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of in the area where it starts you off anyways, but I'm gonna move over to the right a little bit just because I like having that ability to be closer to the train track and everything and sort of figure out my industrial a little better. What's this? Oh, graveyard. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and build our little connection. I'm going to go ahead and raise this up so that way it won't be conflicting with the street lights down below. Going to go ahead and go into move it and then just go ahead and raise that up. Looks like The bridge clears these streetlights now. I'm also going to go ahead and make sure that these two sides are level with this one in the middle. There we go. Make it nice and flat. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these for a second. Go back into my road tool. I'm going to go down one step. Alright, well, I'm going to stretch it out. Okay, it doesn't want to do that either. Gonna go ahead and see what I can do about this. I'm gonna change it down to 6. Maybe that's it. Yeah, there we go. Down 1. Go over another one. Down all the way to the ground. Same thing over on this side. Out 1, down 1. Down 2, out 1. And then I'm gonna go into my network multi-tool. Slope mode. Go ahead and slope these down so they're nice and graded. A little steep, but it looks a lot better, doesn't it? It doesn't help that this side of the map goes downhill, doesn't it? Okay, well, we'll figure that out. This is pretty. A lot of terrain over here. Okay. Probably should have built over here. I'm just going to go ahead and go with this for the time being. Go ahead and build a little dirt road. Save some money. All the way out to the train tracks. And a little bit more past that. So the idea is that I'm going to have my industrial here surrounded by my residential, maybe my commercial down here as well. And I also want to leave some room for my rail eventually to try and integrate that into my transportation for my Sims. I'm gonna go ahead and make another connection, I think over here coming down this way. Go ahead and stretch this out. Go ahead and put the other connection about right here. I don't want to do it too close to this edge here. I want to be able to have enough room to play with so I can build a nice little community around this lake. Maybe I can go more on this side over here. So let me go ahead and see if I can. I'm not sure if I want to get rid of these rocks. Let me go ahead and maybe here will be good. Yeah, this will be all right. I'm gonna go ahead and build over like this. And just like before, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off road guidelines. Down 1 over 1, down 2 over 1. Oh, didn't like that. I guess just down 1's gonna be fine enough. We're gonna go ahead and grade that out anyway, so it's gonna be alright. So, over 1, down 1. Again, over 1, down 1. I just realized there's no music or anything playing. Let me turn my vitals off for a second and get some on-air radio. Connect that. And then I'm gonna go into my traffic tool with the slope again. Gonna go ahead and grade this out. Oh, I forgot. Before I do that, I need to go ahead and raise these two up. Just like I did before, making sure that it's not interfering with these street lights. That looks about that's good enough. You go ahead and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music off because I just realized it's going to be very hard to edit around that. Speeding up the video and everything, so let's go. Let me go ahead and back into traffic tool, sloping. Slope that out. Get this one done. Take a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that this one is the same height as the other one. There we go. It's a lot flatter now. And then because of that, I'm going to have to go ahead and slope this out again. There we go. So now I've got my two connections crossing the railroad here. And I can go ahead and start building my city. I'm probably going to do another connection over here in the future, but for now, I'm going to be focusing in on this little square here. And come to think of it, I'm probably going to end up doing my industrial over here and my residential over here. That's a bigger area. And I am playing with the realistic population mod, so it's going to be better in the long run. I'm going to go ahead and go to my optimize outside connections and turn off dummy traffic. It's already off, but go ahead and get rid of that because I don't need any of that clogging up my city. And then I'm going to go ahead and start zoning or start building some infrastructure. For my industrial grid, I'm going to go ahead and go with the default. Let me go ahead and turn road guidelines back on. And I'm going to go with the default, a smaller grid. I want to compensate for when these roads eventually become bigger into 4-lane roads and eventually 6-lane. So I want to go ahead and leave a space between each of those. That should be good enough right there. Bring it down so I can go ahead and another space. Get rid of this. And for these, I'm going to go ahead and do just in case I need to expand these to 4 lanes, I'm going to leave a 2 space in between to go ahead and compensate for that when I eventually upsize, if I do. So with with precision engineering on, I'm able to see how many units it is. So I'm going to go 12 units. I'm going to do 24 on these. So let me go ahead and get rid of this so I can measure that out. So again, 12 over 24. It's going to be pretty good right there. That's what each of these city blocks are going to be. Let me go ahead and zone a bunch of these out. I know I'm not really respecting the topography here, but these are pretty, not, I guess they kind of are a little steep in elevation, but we're just going to go ahead and zone it anyways. I'm not very good with working around this. It's something I'm kind of trying to get better at. And my connections for this block are actually going to be here. Try to leave a nice, decent amount of space between my off-ramps and other crossings to try to give enough space for the cars to go ahead and make their way through, especially if I'm not playing with dummy traffic and despawning. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of this here to increase the distance between the turns that the trucks are going to have to make here. Alright, that looks pretty good to start off with. With the realistic population mod, this is not going to get filled up completely. I'm going to have some of my city services kind of taking up some of the space here, but we can reliably count on maybe 6 or 7 of these cells being taken up by actual industry. A large portion of this is going to be pretty much all of this actually, and maybe even this one, well, definitely even this one, are going to be taken up by residential, so I'll go ahead and zone those out. I'm going to use the same 12 by 24 grid for my residential to start off with, just to get that quick expansion going. And this one I'm going to go ahead and put kind of smack right in the middle, going down this way, and sort of fill in around the edges as I go along. Again, I'm leaving that space there for when I eventually upgrade this road. Forgot that I'm not going to be leaving a space in between these, or actually I'm going to keep that space, because once I start filling these out with special places like community centers and parks and everything, I'm going to need that extra space, so I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm gonna go ahead and zone out my water now, and power, and some of my other essentials. I actually picked this up from City Planner Plays, leaving these zoning squares blank here where I plan on expanding the road. It just, when the houses develop, it makes them look a lot better. I also forgot that I gotta go through and set a theme for all these. Let me go ahead and go into my game anarchy. Go ahead and unlock my info views, or actually my policies panel. Apparently I can't. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have to unlock that the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna have to get down to 850 residents. And again, I forgot to actually create my connection, so let me go ahead and do that. Actually gonna go ahead and redo this one real fast. When I did it, I left the original bridge span a little too short. I'm gonna go ahead and into move it. Let's go ahead and elongate it a little bit. on both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and select both of the nodes and line up objects with this. Should be good. Let's go ahead and see. It looks alright to me. I'll go ahead and delete that. Then, like I did before, I'm gonna go ahead and go 1 over 1 down, 1 over 2 down. Yeah, see, it is a little bit off. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and can't undo that, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Start over from scratch. Gonna go ahead and add 5 units on each side before I go ahead and actually go over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. Remember, I gotta go down 1 here because of the terrain. Over here, I'll be able to go down, over 1, down 1, over 1, down. Oh, actually, it's because I haven't raised this bridge yet. Go ahead and grab all 3 of these nodes. I'm actually going to go ahead and move this one a little bit to the side. There we go, so that way that this pillar spawns. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab all 3 of the nodes. Raise them up above the streetlights. I like that. A couple more. And you can see just by looking at it that this section of the bridge goes higher than the one in the middle. So to make them uniform, I'm going to go ahead and grab this one and the other one on this side to object height right here in the middle. And that looks a lot better. Now back into graphic tool. Go ahead and slope these. Now that we've gone and fixed that, we can go ahead and let people start moving in. One thing I've noticed, because this is not the first time this has happened, houses actually start spawning, even if you don't have a off-ramp. So you still need to build those off-ramps to get those people to spawn in. I'm also going to go ahead and build a little bit of commercial here on the corner. Oh, just to give that a little bit of a kickstart. As you can see, it's already starting to go up a little bit, but now that I zoned a little bit, it's going down. And I think I'm going to do another connection here across, just so my Sims can go ahead and get through. And it will make sense too since it comes out from this collector. We'll be able to come out across to where my residential is. I'm starting to get a little bit of industrial need now. I'm gonna go ahead and zone a little bit of that. Since I have this connection here, I'm gonna go ahead and zone close to that. That should be enough for now. Looks like I'm gonna need a little bit more industrial than that. Go ahead and zone a little bit more there. Looks like some of these sims need water. I forgot to remember that. Throw a little bit more commercial down. Usually I like zoning these in 4x4 squares, just to be able to make sure that they fill completely without going a little overboard and having way too much. Awesome. Got tiny Hamlet, or little Hamlet. Go ahead and one thing I did not know is that as soon as these services become available, you need to plot them, because then if you don't, they'll start taking a toll on your sims by not having these services. So I'm going to go ahead and put my landfill over here, a little out of the way. I don't need any recycling center yet, but I will need a medical clinic, which I'm just going to go ahead and put just right. I don't want it to be on one of the main stretches of road, so I'm going to put it over here, just sort of out of the way. As well as a school. Quick little elementary school over here. Don't have parks unlocked yet, but just going to go ahead and do that for now. And that should be good for now. Zone a little bit more residential. I'm going to be a little more aggressive with it just to get it really going. It looks like we're getting pretty close to that goal of 850. So I can go ahead and, here we go. Awesome. Go ahead and pause the game for now. I'm going to go ahead and set my themes up. I'm going to go ahead and include a bookmark in the video, so you can go ahead and skip this if you want, but if you want to follow along with me and sort of select what I'm going to be allowing to spawn in my city in terms of housing and stuff, because at the moment it's sort of like a little bit of everything, which I don't really like too much. I want to have a little bit more control over this, especially my commercial that's spawning all sorts of stuff I don't really want in my city. It sort of stands out like a sore thumb that I don't really like too much. So again, I'm going to go ahead and include a bookmark so you can go ahead and jump to that. But I'm going to go ahead and start selecting what I want on my theme. The theme I'm going to be going with is a general kind of modern American suburbia with a commercial wall-to-wall sort of experience. A lot of sort of commercial, like these types of buildings, that kind of middle America Main Street sort of feel to it. So go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go into my theme manager. New theme, Suburban. I'm going to go ahead and name it Suburbia. Create that. Go ahead through my light residential and start selecting some things. I'm always pretty iffy about these. I mean, if I'm going with a sort of suburban look along the lines of this house, this is a little too, as the name says, 1800 for me, so I think I'm going to exclude these for now. Kind of like this one. This is going to remain in there. I don't know about these really big ones. See? I'm just going to include them and see how they look with the rest of everything else, and if I don't like them in the long run, I'll go ahead and remove them. Using the North American suburban theme, I can throw in a lot of these hideous, really awful, especially this one. I can put those into the overall theme that I'm going with. For a lot of these bigger packs that I have downloaded, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip through them and make sure that I remember the name so I can go ahead and type it in later. Okay, so Okay, that doesn't want to work apparently. Okay, well, I don't want to be finicky. What if I do sub USA? Maybe that'll work. Because I don't really want these trailers spawning just yet. I don't want them spawning with the rest of my theme. So let me do sub USA. And that'll filter all of these. Perfect. Select all of them. That way when I get out of this, go back down. Did I just skip through a lot of this stuff or what's going on? Oh yeah, D. I'm barely in the D's. Oh wow. Okay. We'll go ahead with that. And these under construction ones are pretty neat to have the floating around your city as the buildings progress. Not so much the level 2 and 3. I don't like them too much. Or the level 2, I guess. But the level 1 are pretty cool to see those. And you'll see what I mean when they start popping up. As far as I know, the places you zone don't start at level 2. They go from 1 and level up through 5. So that's why I'm not including those either. Because it's kind of weird seeing a house turn into a construction site like this. You know what? I'm kind of dumb because I think these level 1s start out as nothing and then they get the little... You can see that these have sort of almost a garage up and these walls and everything. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and include those because I forgot that they do evolve over time into these other ones that make it seem like they are kind of evolving up as they go. Don't really like these European houses. Maybe if I start zoning a really super rich area, like some sort of McMansions, I'll include those in another theme. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and skip over those. I do like the look of these houses, but they're from a pack that I downloaded that they don't seem to be decorated. They just kind of spawn the house without any yard or anything, and it's a little weird, so I'm not going to include those. See, these houses don't really fit the theme with what I'm trying to go for. You can tell just the architecture in general is a little weird, and I think that's why I didn't like these houses to begin with. So I think if I'm not including those houses, I'm going to remove these just right off the bat, because even this one that I do like. Okay. I'm not going to flip-flop too much. I'm going to leave those just to see how it looks as I go on about this. But these New England townhouses, I'm definitely not keeping in the pack. I can go ahead and scroll down. New Zealand Victorians, so I'll take those. I don't like the idea of having apartments in low residential. I feel it's kind of cheesing the game a little bit, so I'm not going to include those. The only reason I'm including these villas for this theme is because they're level 4s. And if they start spawning, I probably won't mind them too much, especially in a level 4 area. You kind of expect to see little houses that are a little extravagant like this and this. And I'm not going to mind them too much. Gotta have the Walter White house. Definitely need that in there. That about does it for light residential. I'm going to go ahead and move over to light commercial. Hopefully this goes a lot faster because that kind of took forever, didn't it? Let's go ahead and make our way through this. Alright, that's about it for that. So, just for the overall city, I'm going to go down to Suburbia, activate that, and now everything that spawns should be following that theme. And I'm going to have to go through and delete a couple of these, just a few at a time, so that way I don't completely kill my city and have them respawn with the new theme. So awful. Look at that. How ugly is that? Hmm. From what I remember, there's not too many that kind of get under my skin too much. I'm okay with pretty much all of this, especially if it's supposed to be kind of like a modern suburbia. I'm going to be okay with all of these except for maybe the European. Actually, if I remember correctly, the European sort of buildings are okay too. Give it that kind of 1900s feel to their buildings. Yeah, I'll go ahead and select all of these. They can all come along. If I see anything that I don't like, especially like this, I don't like when this spawns, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that for now. Actually, this whole Charles Street sort of pack I downloaded, I'm not going to include those. Not entirely sure why the land value is not very good here. I don't have that info view unlocked yet, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. One thing I do know, it's going to get a little bit more expensive to live in my city. There we go. There are level 2 houses spawning. I don't know why. So the value is not up to par for them. It's probably because they spawned and upgraded from when I did that last delete. And they're now barely catching up and not used to the area. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them out of their misery because... oh, this is really ugly. My city's starting to look a little bit more uniform in terms of housing. You can see that they're following, sideways house. Get rid of that. You can see that they're following a more kind of suburban America sort of theme, which I am quite enjoying actually. They aren't all over the place and weird like the default. Oh, what is happening? They're not all over the place like the default theme. Gonna go ahead and let this fill out a little bit more before I continue on. I still have a lot of zoning left over for these houses to fill up. And I won't unlock parks for another 600 people. So, I do have some of the uniques unlocked. Well, it looks like the zoning's starting to calm down and request more. I don't know why this is dezoned. Not really sure what happened here. Maybe a misclick or something, but go ahead and fill that back up. And zone a couple more blocks of housing. This is from that house pack. You can see a couple of these little construction sites. I think they're pretty neat. I really wished it was more common, or I was able to get them to spawn more often for other sets of houses, but I really like how these look. It really kind of adds a little bit of life to the city as they kind of evolve over time. Starting out as these kind of empty plots, eventually becoming... Well, I was looking for an example, but I don't really have any in the city at the moment. Sort of frames of houses before finally becoming actual houses. It adds a nice level of depth to the game that I really appreciate, but doesn't seem to be any in my city at the moment. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let this bake for a little bit. Let these residential plots that I just zoned fill out, so I can get some more people in here and hopefully get the about 1,500 off or a little less for parks and everything, so shouldn't take too long. I'm actually going to go ahead and, before anything spawns here, rezone this for commercial. Get a little bit of commercial inside my residential, little corner mom and pop shops, all that jazz. About 100 left for my parks unlock. And we'll just go ahead and give that a chance to get done with. And there we go, we've got parks now. So, I'm gonna go ahead and set this back to full speed. I set a school down. You know what? When I did this erase tool, it actually gets rid of ploppables, which I totally forgot about. So, it actually got rid of my school and whatever else I put down. So that's just great. Let me go ahead and redo that. And I did use the default school anyways. I don't really like those too much. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these smaller ones that I downloaded off the workshop. I'm going to go ahead and use the Hayes Elementary for my first elementary school. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that off to the side. I do want to use one of these squares for my elementary school, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and dezone this to start off and run it for a second just to get these houses to despawn. And here it is. Hayes Elementary from King Leno. I'm going to go ahead and plop that there, just right on the corner. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? And then next to that, I'm going to go, because it is a elementary school, I'm going to go ahead and add a small playground. Maybe a large playground. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do a large playground right next to it. Just like that. I don't think it'll fit in the back. No, it won't. So right here next to it's going to be fine. And following American tradition, of creating prisons out of elementary and other schools. I'm gonna go ahead and fence this off, make it look a little more at home to my American eyes. Perfect. Maybe even up to there. Right here. A little bit over this way. And a little bit more to kind of finish it off. That looks great, doesn't it? Alright. I think that's gonna be fine for now. I'm gonna go ahead and zone some residential around this just to... I don't think we need to use up this entire block. This is already looking pretty good as it is. Like, I don't like that, but I like it. I don't know if I can put a tree. Yeah, it's gonna give me a problem. It's gonna give me a problem when I do that, so just forget it for now. But this looks pretty good. Actually, this area back here is not part of the school, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my... I'm gonna go ahead and select a small tree, use my line tool, and I think 8's gonna be a lot better for this. Turn on my zoning so I can see my squares. 8 is actually lined up pretty good with each square, so it spaces them out a square. And it's gonna be alright for now with that. Go ahead and turn the simulation back on. Get rid of this brush. I don't need you anymore. Turn off my zoning. That doesn't look too bad, does it? I think I actually unlocked high schools as well. Yes, I did. So I'm going to go ahead and build one of those. Probably right here across the street. I'm going to make this whole area sort of like a city center slash education zone. Not entirely sure how to phrase that, but I'm going to go ahead and dezone this anyways. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this. I'm actually going to take out this street too, because I'm going to use quite a bit of space for my high school. I'm going to go in and I don't really mind the base game high school too much. It's not too awful compared to the elementary school. I do have a couple assets that I've downloaded off of the workshop, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the base school. Yeah, I'm going to use the base high school for this, and I'm just going to put it right here on the corner. And along with that, I'm going to go into my parks. And I have a couple more assets as well for the high school that I like to use. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this as well, actually. And this street. Because I do have quite a bit I'm going to put in here. I like making them really feel like a high school. So there you've got the building itself. And then, of course, no high school is complete without a track and field. I'm going to go ahead and throw that over here in this corner. You can see that we've got a little bit of a problem with the terrain already. So I'm going to go ahead and move that over here. make it a little better. Hopefully get my landscaping tool, buff that out. Not doing too good of a job, but that's alright. Get rid of this house. I don't know how it's still there. Maybe we can hide the hurt with a little bit of maybe a basketball court. That's not too bad. Throw in a tennis court. That's not too bad either. Move this over one. Good. Reposition this. Go back over here. What else do I've got? Oh, what is an American high school without football? Go ahead and throw that right here. Not too bad. It's in the back, sort of, so I'm not going to mind that too much. I need a baseball field. Maybe I can... That's... not as neat as I would like it, but I do like how the terrain is kind of making these little natural pathways. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that when I make my pathways through here. So, track and field, football stadium. I'm not going to include a soccer stadium. You don't really see those too often in American high schools. Do we? I don't think we had one in my high school. I think it's probably the last thing I do have to add, so I don't mean I have to add it, but I think it would fit in. I don't think it would fit right there. Maybe if I move the high school over a little and I can squeeze these in somewhere else. So let me go ahead and do that. So high school here, which kind of ruins that. Let me move it over one more. Can I buff this out? No, I can't. This might be a little easier to work with back here now. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and move that over. These need to... I don't understand why this keeps spawning. I de-zoned all of that. But anyways, this over here. Tennis courts. Get rid of this basketball court. We can... might have to squeeze it in here if it'll go. No, it does not. Maybe I can... I'm going to put it over here for now. And I need to put the football, or sorry, soccer stadium, which I don't have money for. 8,000. That'll be all right. There we go, 8,000. And then add that over here. Maybe I can put a street that goes through here somewhere. Can I reposition this? It will go, but I do not have the money right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this cook for a second. I'm gonna put a street through here. I might actually just turn this on its side so that way I can squeeze the basketball court back right there. That doesn't look too bad. Go ahead and put this here. That looks awful. That's a perfectly good waste of money. Moving that over. The edges are a little rough, but I'm gonna... Well, I don't know about this. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. The edges are a little rough, but I'm gonna go ahead and be okay with that for now. How much we can do about that. Go ahead and move the tennis courts, get the basketball court back in here, and we've got a high school. Complete it with this pathway. I don't know if this is gonna work, but yeah, that does not look good. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that the way it is. I like this little walkway here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and litter this with some trees. One thing I like to do is look at the natural trees that are sort of spawning when the game starts. So we've got... What are you? Oak. And it looks like all of these trees are going to be oak trees. There's not really any variation going on through this map. Yeah, these all look like oak trees. What a weird map. There's not one single... Maybe... What are you? Alder tree. Okay. So we'll put a couple aldars in there. Aldars? Is it aldars? Alder. I'm pretty sure it's alder. Change this down to... Let's go with 0.4. So sort of sprinkle these in here. It's a little too much. Let's get some oak in there. Is this Oh. I'm not sure why they aren't spawning here. Some alder trees in here. What I'm actually going to do, let's make a nice little walkway here. Oh, don't want that. Well, that looks nice. Let's see it now. Some kid getting beat up for lunch money over here. Nice little walkway here for all sorts of high school ranks. Whatever. Put an alder tree here. Another one here. Couple oaks. That doesn't look too bad. Maybe I can decorate this a little better. I think what's going to look really cool here is... It's actually in my large trees. Here we go. Nice little yew tree. Get a couple... There we go. Well, it doesn't look too bad, does it? Looks like during that time got quite an appetite in my city for some residential and industrial. So, what are you complaining about? Not enough workers. Not enough educated workers. Well, we do have a high school, so figure it out. Go ahead and get some more in here. There we go. A little bit more industrial going on. I just realized I have zones unlocked. Okay. So, or districts. So we're going to go ahead and just paint this entire area district. And now I want the train tracks to be sort of like the dividing line between these two districts. I went off quite a bit there, but that's going to be alright. We're going to fix that right now. Go ahead and get into the smaller tool. That's going to be good enough right there. And usually when I make a map, I like to designate where north and south is going to be. And I think I'm going to keep it simple and keep this area as the north and this area as the south. So this will be East Fullerton. And this is going to be West Fullerton. Would help if I had spelled it correctly. Alright. Go ahead and get rid of that view and the names. There's not really much I can do about it right now. This is just more kind of to keep an eye on things that are going to be happening in the future when I get city planning, which is reached at, I have no idea, 46,000 people. 4,600 people. So I still got quite a bit of ways to go. But for now, this is going to be fine enough. I haven't gone and looked at my neighborhoods. So let's see how they're doing. I'm really liking how this theme is going. And these houses are kind of weirdly fitting in a little bit. If you, I don't know, if you sit here and look at them for a long time, they really don't. But from afar, I don't really not mind them too much. So we're just going to go ahead and leave them anyways. As you can see, this is the level 2 that I was talking about before. You can see frames of walls going up and everything compared to here. This is also a level 2. You can see the foundation of the house already being laid out. This is a level 1, just an empty lot with a porta shitter on it and sort of office building, but level 2. And eventually this will become a level 3 full-blown house. So that'll be happening in not too long, I think. And since I have the high school and the elementary school here, I'm actually going to go ahead and put a library right here in the center. Because I sure do like having a library in the city. And it sort of fits here with all the other buildings around it. Doesn't look too bad. And with the library, you always have to put a dog park, if I can get to it. right here, right next to it. No, I don't like how it looks because of the terrain, so I'm actually going to go ahead and move it over one. Or put it right here on the corner, actually. That doesn't look too bad now. And I'm going to go ahead and de-zone this entire square too, because this is going to be a sort of park as well. One thing I need to do for this American school is Americanize it, so I'm going to go ahead and add the chain link fence. I really don't like how these cars look, but there's not much I can do about it because I did not give thought about the topography. Maybe I can raise it up? That's starting to look pretty weird. How about here? It does look a lot better with the cars. How does it look over here? I'm gonna be honest, it's clipping and everything over here, but it doesn't look too bad when you, unless you like really focus on it. It's not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like that. So sue me. Maybe I can fix these two, because I don't like how these cars are sitting pretty steep either. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this down a little bit. Put some more in line. How's that look? I don't like this. I'm going to be honest about that. But I don't think people... Maybe I could put a chain link fence here and it wouldn't... Yeah, I don't like that. That person walking across those did not look great. So I'm just going to go ahead and raise that back up. Honestly, I'd rather have these weird parked cars. And people just walking back and forth like that. So that's going to be alright. Add a little bit more chain link fence, make it a little bit more American. Not too bad. I don't have it unlocked now, but I am going to want to put a skate park in here. And I'm thinking over here. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to go ahead and get my path making tool, angle, grid. right down here in the middle. And then I'm going to go make a pathway behind the library through there. Actually, this is where I'm going to put this. So go there. And landscape this a little bit. I'm really not sure what's going on with that. That's a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one here. And maybe across here. Nope. Does not want to do that. 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 Maybe if I use... There we go. I'm just going to landscape this out a little bit. It doesn't look too bad. Actually, don't know if I like those little bushes there. I'm going to go ahead and remove them. Looks better when it's more simple like that, I guess. I'm actually going to go ahead and de-zone this. Turn it into a sort of main street. So I like that a lot better than sort of weird houses just going, not weird houses, but just houses on houses. I like that a little bit more. So some more houses over there. Get a little bit more industrial. See how this goes. Alright, looks like that's done baking for now. I don't understand how it says not enough workers when clearly there are enough workers. 7% unemployment. What are you talking about? No workers. Is it that they're too smart? Too stupid? You need highly educated. And a few educated. Looks like, oh, I'm gonna need some electricity. Have I? Oh, I don't even have cemeteries unlocked yet. Almost. Not yet. Just gonna go ahead and plop another coal power plant down right. And put it over here. $2,000 people. I think it's going to be an okay place to leave it for now. I'm going to go ahead and save the game and pick it back up tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.